What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 165. Yes, 165. Moving on up there, moving on up there. Hopefully, everybody had a good day today. It is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, year of our Lord, and it's time to get into it. We got a lot of things to talk about, but remember, we got to do some housekeeping first. The best way to show your support for this channel is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you are up to date on all the videos. Now remember, y'all, we meet here Monday through Friday starting around 6 o'clock, where we go over 4-5 topics maybe. Just stuff that I've found that we just need to discuss together. Because the world is a crazy place, and the best way to move forward is for us to review these situations together. Now, if you ever have any questions or disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment. Let's have a discussion about it. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I understand everything, but we can talk about it. That's the main thing that's wrong with the world today. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first topic we're going to be discussing today is we got to go to Del Valley High School in Texas. Yes, they are in the spotlight today because we got 4 students who have been accused of kidnapping and torturing their classmates. The world is a crazy place, and it even starts young sometimes. Let's get over into it and see what our thoughts are. Of course, we'll watch the videos and the AI breakdown. Let's get into it.
I thought it was insane. It's especially at our school.
Jacaden Mitchell is a student at Del Valley High School. He says he's shocked to hear of the allegations involving a student who says he was kidnapped and attacked by 4 classmates.
But we never have anything super crazy like that, especially knowing one of the alleged kidnappers. It's pretty bad.
According to an arrest affidavit, the victim left Del Valley High School with 3 classmates on February 19th and went to this gas station across the street. From there, he says they drove to a home on FM 969 where they went into the garage. Travis County Sheriff's Office investigators say that's when the situation escalated. According to the affidavit, the victim says one of the teens held a gun to his head while the others tied his hands and feet with duct tape and covered his mouth.
Everyone's pretty spooked, especially the classmates where we all shared a class. Everyone's been like, oh my God, I can't believe this is.
Now, I do wonder, I'm not going to stop it too much, but I do wonder if he truly considered those people his friends or if they were just bullying him or they were popular kids. I want to know the dynamic between the students. Let's keep going, though.
Happening.
The victim told investigators he was beaten with aluminum bats and a walking cane while the suspects took turns holding him at gunpoint. The victim also says he was burned, forced to drink alcohol, and threatened with being killed if he went to police. Investigators say the victim was told the attack started because one of the suspects didn't want him talking to his girlfriend. He was later driven to another location and left there before making his way to a bus stop and eventually reporting what happened.
It's just crazy how strong that person would have to be to report it and just stay alive, honestly.
The 4 suspects, 17-year-olds Jose Rojas Alvarado, Oscar Armando Santiago Martinez, Angel Lemos Perez, and Carlos Roberto Oliva Valera, are facing a charge of aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon, a first-degree felony.
Throwing their lives away. All this because someone was talking to his girl at a high school. The world is going downhill as we speak. Let's keep going.
Make sure you stay extra safe because this is something crazy to happen.
Thank you for watching.
Now, they were probably bullies. We got to be honest how it is. They were probably bullies in the school that constantly tormented this kid. And the fact that this has all happened over just one dude talking to his girlfriend, some kids are showing where they need to be when they grow up. Let's go over into this next video just to get more information on it.
The Travis County Sheriff's Office is investigating a disturbing case in which Del Valley High School student says he was kidnapped, beaten, and tortured by 4 of his classmates. CBS Austin Farrah Walton joins us live in the studio tonight after speaking with someone who knows one of the suspects. Farrah, the student you spoke with, pretty shaken up here.
Yeah, well, he was. This Del Valley High School student says he was shocked when he learned of these allegations. Now, investigators say 3 of the suspects admitted to planning and carrying out this attack.
I thought it was insane. It's especially at our school.
Jacaden Mitchell is a student at Del Valley High School. He says he's shocked to hear of the allegations involving a student who says he was kidnapped and attacked by 4 classmates.
But we never have anything super crazy like that, especially knowing one of the alleged kidnappers. It's pretty bad.
According to an arrest affidavit, the victim left Del Valley High School with 3 classmates on February 19th and went to this gas station across the street. From there, he says they drove to a home on FM 969 where they went into the garage. Travis County Sheriff's Office investigators say that's when the situation escalated. According to the affidavit.
Okay, we're basically getting the same information as the last one. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information, real information about this whole case. So as we know, we got 4 17-year-old former students of Del Valley High School near Austin, Texas, were recently charged with aggravated kidnapping and torture. Their planned assault took place on February 19, 2026. Lured by pizza. The victim was picked up after school under the guise of getting food. The victim was transported to a location southeast Travis County. So the victim was bound and subjected to physical violence with various items, including a gun, aluminum bat, a walking cane, and a belt. Additionally, the victim was subjected to further abuse and threats. Investigators state that the incident was recorded by one of the suspects. And that's how they're going to get caught. Great. The incident was reportedly linked to a personal dispute. The accused are Jose Roses Aldo, Oscar Armando Santiago Martinez, Angel Lumes Perez, and Carlos Roberto Olivia Veldela. All 4 face charges of aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon. If convicted, they can face 5 to 99 years in prison. All of this comes from the fact that one of the victim was talking to one of their girls. It is a life of crime that some of these kids are destined to have. You mean to tell me they picked him up, they planned this out, they picked him up, kidnapped him, put a gun in his face, and then beat him with belts and any other items they could find. All because they was talking to some random man was talking to their girl. 17 years old, and they're ready to throw their lives away for something like this. Now, does this say more about them, or does it say more about the parents who was raising them? That's always a question. It's always a question. Absolutely sickening. Let me know your thoughts. How much time do you think these children should get? 5 to 99 years, that's a wide range. But they 17 years old, definitely know better. They need to, it can't be nothing that slaps them on the wrist. We need to have big boy crimes deserve big boy times. Kidnapping, torture, those sound like big boy crimes to me, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said, y'all. The world is a crazy place. The world is a crazy place. But we got to pivot over to more topics because there's a lot of things that we need to discuss. We're going to go over to a father who has finally been charged or convicted of starving his 5-year-old girl to death. It looks like this person was a former MMA fighter, amateur. He wasn't a professional, but an amateur. So he's used to violence. Let's get over into this videos. We got a few videos we'll look at, and then of course we'll go over to the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this case. Some people are sickening and don't deserve to be parents, but at the end of the day, the kids don't get to choose who they're born to. Let's get over into it, y'all. See what our thoughts are.
A longtime area prosecutor today called Robert Buskey one of the worst human beings ever prosecuted by her office. That distinction coming after Buskey admitted that he let his 5-year-old daughter starve to death. Dan Levy was in the Schenectady County courtroom when Buskey learned his punishment.
So unspeakably horrifying was this case, Judge Matthew Sibnewski called Robert Buskey's crime the cruelest, most horrifying, most agonizing child murder case that has ever happened in Schenectady County. According to authorities, Robert Buskey didn't just murder his 5-year-old daughter, he tortured her, forcing her to live the final weeks of her life in a bedroom, the door locked from the outside, without food or water or clothing, or even a bed to sleep on.
When she was 2.5 years old, she weighed 40 pounds. When she died at 5 years old, she weighed 30. She, along with her brother, had been closed off from the outside world for the last few months.
He doesn't deserve to see the light of day. If there's anything short of him not being able to see the light of day, that means dying in prison. The sentence is too light. But let's keep going into this and tell me if you disagree.
They no longer saw family. They no longer attended doctor's appointments. They were not, nor had ever been, enrolled in school.
While Charlotte was left alone to die, her 3-year-old brother Jackson lived in a cage in the dining room of a cluttered and filthy home on Elmer Avenue. Both children had cocaine in their system.
I don't even know what else to say about it, other than it's the definition of depraved. Wicked, evil, inhuman state of mind.
Buskey told the court he understands why people think of him as a monster.
I take responsibility for what happened to Charlotte and Jackson, and I just want to apologize to everyone that was involved and that it affects. But no matter what I do, that don't bring Charlotte back, so I'm here to take responsibility for my actions today, Judge.
Defense attorney Joseph Litz said ever since his client retired from mixed martial arts fighting, his life has been a horrific passage of time.
My observation, Judge, he was incoherent the day after in terms of where he was because of the level of drugs and the struggles with mental health that he had.
The penalty for Buskey, 27 years to life. Underscoring what she sees as gross unfairness, prosecutor Christina Tremonti pointed out Robert Buskey will spend the next 27 years to life in state prison in better living conditions, with more food, with more humane treatment than his daughter ever got to experience in her final days. In Schenectady.
That is one of the realest statements they can say. He is going to be able to live cushy in a prison. He'll probably get beat up, so that's a little better, but his daughter had to live in a room with no bed, no food, and survive on that. She weighed less at 5 years old than she did at 2 years old, y'all. It's inconceivable. And then he had another kid just living in a cage. These are the types of people that need to be locked up for the rest of their lives. But we know what happens to child abusers in jail. Let's get over into this next video and get more information, because this is a sick man, y'all.
Robert Buskey was sentenced to 27 years in life for second-degree murder and criminal sale of a controlled substance to a child. To put it into perspective, the judge is calling this the most cruel and horrific child murder that has happened in Schenectady County.
I deserve it. I understand why I'm being prosecuted here. I understand the reasons that everyone looks at me as a monster.
With tears falling down his face, Robert Buskey saying there's no excuse for what he did, those actions causing the death of his 5-year-old daughter.
I take responsibility for what happened to Charlotte and Jackson, and I just want to apologize to everyone that was involved and that it affects.
Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney Christina Tremonti recounting visiting the Elmer Avenue home where Buskey kept his kids closed off from the outside world. It was a room locked from the outside where Buskey's daughter died, starved and dehydrated.
Now, first things first, I don't like to stop it too much. But my main question I would like to know is where the mother is. Did she die? Where was she when all of this was going on? Was he the sole protector of these children? Wow.
She didn't even have a bed, but rather a pack and play that was so small she was forced to lie in fetal position. And that was the place where she spent her final days alone.
Tremonti says a makeshift cage was in the dining room meant for Buskey's 3-year-old son. Cocaine was found in the systems of both children. She says a prison sentence does not feel like justice, but it's the best they can do.
But what he did, I don't even know what else to say about it, other than it's the definition of depraved. Wicked, evil, inhuman state of mind. He didn't just leave her and forget about her. He tortured her.
With clear disdain in his voice, Judge Matthew Sibnewski saying only a person who lacks empathy would be capable of murdering a child in the way Buskey did.
You're going to be locked up yourself, for the rest of your life. And it's already been mentioned, in conditions better than your own daughter suffered. Which I suppose is how it should be.
Buskey's son is now staying with his uncle. We heard from Termonte that he is doing better now that he has moved to a safe environment. As part of a plea agreement, an order of protection has been issued against Buskey, prohibiting any contact with his son. Reporting live in studio, Quinn Alexander.
Any contact with his son, any other children, no one should be around this man. Wow. Absolutely sickening, y'all. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this whole situation. 27 years to life. I would love if he would have just gave him a straight till death. You are in there for life. There's no 70 years to no life. But let's get over into it, y'all. So on April 3rd, the 35-year-old former amateur MMA Robert Buskey Jr. was sentenced to 27 years to life for starvation of his 5-year-old daughter Charlotte Buskey. So it says that she was locked from the outside in her bedroom. She was found dead on April 14th, 2024. The cause of death was determined to be severe malnutrition and dehydration. There was no food in her system, despite the house being stocked with food, including boxes placed right outside of her locked door. So when he really tortured her mentally and physically. He had boxes of food stacked up outside of her door that he locked her in. The 3-year-old son was found alive but severely malnourished, kept in a makeshift caves in the dining room. He pleaded guilty in January 2026 to second-degree murder and criminal sale of controlled substance to a child. During the sentencing, the judge noted that he would be now locked up in conditions better than those he forced his daughter into. Absolutely. And a permanent order of protection has been issued against them. Wow. I've said that people know where is Charlotte's mother? Charlotte's biological mother was reportedly a long-time drug rehabilitation center. That's where she was at. And in recovery at the time of the incident. She has not been charged in connection with Charlotte's death. However, another woman, Robert Buskey Jr.'s then girlfriend, Brandy, was living in the home and faced legal consequences for her involvement. In July 2025, the girlfriend, pleaded guilty to tampering with physical evidence and 2 counts of child endangerment. She was sentenced to 5 years of probation and avoided prison time. Prosecution alleged that the night of Charlotte's death, Buskey gave Tuna cocaine to hide, and she left the residence with the drugs. Her defense attorney stated that she was a victim of physical abuse herself. They love to say that, but I think she was just a part of it. But it could come out evidence that she wasn't, and she truly was abused, and had cooperated with the investigation. Sickening. The children sounds like they had no chance. The world is a cold place. Let me know your thoughts on this situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. Do you think the girlfriend got off light? Should she have been given more time than the obvious time that the father? 27 years to life, yes, that sounds good. As long as it's closer to the life part than 27. But let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said, y'all. That's an awful case. We're going to pivot now into our third topic we're going to be discussing today, and we're going to go over to Chattanooga, where we have a pharmacist who's acting like a pimp. It's simple as that, or a drug dealer, however you want to say it. He was trading pharmaceutical drugs for sex. Absolutely sickening. Let's get over into it and see what our thoughts are and see what we can find out about this whole situation.
Good evening. We have new information tonight on the DEA's investigation of a Chattanooga pharmacist. A newly released affidavit claims he had sexual encounters with women in exchange for prescriptions or controlled substances.
DEA agents responded to A+ Pharmacy on Highway 58 today following reports of illegal activity. After initially denying the allegations, we're told owner and pharmacist Nader Rabi, seen there in an interview from December, admitted to distributing prescription drugs and engaging in sexual encounters inside the pharmacy. Video evidence appears to show multiple incidences involving 20 to 30 women. Agents say Rabi told them the women were patients with insurance, but also admitted he sometimes waived copayments. Rabi is charged with distribution of Schedule IV controlled substances. Additional charges are pending. The DEA says the pharmacy will remain closed while this investigation continues.
Yeah. The pharmacy needs to remain closed. It's as simple as that. Is this question? Now, is this prostitution? Is this simply a drug dealer trying to get taking everything but money from his clients? How do you consider this? Were the women selling themselves? I'm assuming so that's how you can consider it. But let's keep going into this and see what else we can figure out.
The DEA says a Chattanooga pharmacist was taken into custody and is now at the center of a federal investigation. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Joshua. The DEA says they issued an immediate suspension order against A+ Pharmacy. Our cameras were rolling as authorities took the pharmacist into custody today. The pharmacy sits along Highway 58, about a mile away from Highway 153.
The DEA says A+ Pharmacy can no longer handle controlled substances while the suspension remains in effect. We received new information about this pharmacist's arrest just minutes ago. Ray Coyote joins us now with the latest. Ray, what's the latest?
Kim, Josh, the new details we just received in our newsroom is an arrest affidavit that shows Nadir Rahib had sexual encounters with 20 to 30 women. Now, it says he did not require some women to pay for prescription drugs after those encounters. Some of these sexual acts, the arrest report says, were caught on video. In one instance, the report says the pharmacist was seen on video taking a Schedule IV drug and dumping it into a female customer's hand, all without any prescription bottle.
It's egregious enough to where somebody is doing some type of public harm or danger to the community, imminent danger to the public. That's when we have to shut the place down immediately.
Strong words from the DEA as their agents pull out boxes of evidence from the A+ Pharmacy. A few hours later, Chattanooga police let this man out in handcuffs. DEA agents tell me he's the pharmacist for that business on Highway 58. These Tennessee Department of Health online records list Nadir Rahib as a licensed pharmacist here. The reason for the handcuffs? Martin read what the DEA says in an investigation of several allegations of not only misuse of controlled substances, but also sexual misconduct.
The allegations that we got were fairly egregious, which led our administrator to issue an immediate suspension order.
According to the DEA, an immediate suspension order on the pharmacy immediately prevents them from handling controlled substances due to an imminent danger to public health or safety.
We will serve this immediate suspension order on the pharmacy to shut them down immediately, take their DEA registration number, and take all of their controlled drugs.
So he wasn't even the owner of the store, at least of what I'm understanding. So the pharmacy, they're going to lose a lot of business. Lose the trust of the people that are around them. They might not recover and have to close down.
Now, according to the arrest report, law enforcement anticipates more charges could be coming. We have more details from this arrest report on our website at newschannel9.com.
Absolutely crazy story. Let's keep going into this, y'all.
New details tonight in the shutdown of a Chattanooga pharmacy. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Joshua. Investigators say the owner and pharmacist at A+ Pharmacy exchanged prescription drugs for sex acts. Now the DEA is shutting down the pharmacy's ability to handle controlled substances.
Now, DEA officials say that type of action is only taken when there's an imminent danger to public health.
Fox Chattanooga's Sarah Hauer spoke with a pharmacist separate from this case about what this could mean for patients.
Federal investigators say this is where they uncovered violations of the Controlled Substances Act. According to an arrest affidavit, video shows 20 to 30 different women and alleges the pharmacist exchanged prescription drugs and other controlled substances for sex acts. A pharmacist with a different company says patients could now be left scrambling.
It is really sad when you see these type of accusations of someone in healthcare.
That concern comes as DEA agents were seen removing these boxes of evidence from A+ Pharmacy on Highway 58. Our crew was there as Chattanooga police led the pharmacist and owner out in handcuffs. The reason for the handcuffs, the DEA says an investigation of not only misuse of controlled substances, but also sexual misconduct. According to this affidavit, the pharmacist initially told investigators the encounters involved one woman. But after being shown video footage, investigators say he admitted to multiple encounters and claimed the women had, quote, fantasies of being sexual with a pharmacist. In one instance, the affidavit alleges he was seen on video dumping a Schedule IV drug directly into a woman's hands without a prescription.
Come on now, we all know what it was about. He was using what the women needed, what the women really wanted, against them, and using his position to take it. You ain't got to pay your copay. I know times are hard. These are the worst of us. But let's keep going into this.
Never heard of this happening in my pharmacy career. I've never heard of them coming in and pretty much shutting down that pharmacy on day one.
Hitchcock family pharmacist, director of pharmacy Robbie Eskridge says patients may now need to contact their doctors to get prescriptions sent somewhere else. But he says his biggest concern goes beyond access to prescriptions.
As healthcare professionals, we want to be trusted by our patients and by the public. Big instances like this can really dwindle away at that.
Sarah Hauer, Fox, Chattanooga.
Just like what I said, this can wear on the trust that the people have on that certain pharmacy. Will they be giving me my drugs? Will they give me my right drugs? Will I have some creepy guy trying to hit on me or something? It brings a lot of questions. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this whole case. So as they told us, April 2026, Nadir, the owner and pharmacist, so he was the owner. Yes, he was the owner of A+ Pharmacy in Chattanooga, was arrested and charged following the federal investigation into the allegations that he exchanged controlled substances for sexual favors. So they're saying nearly 20 to 30 different women inside of the pharmacy exchanged, we know, 4 prescriptions. They said that there's video evidence. Although he initially denied the allegations, he claiming that it had sexual fantasies about him. He later admitted to the acts when presented with video evidence by the DEA. On April 6, 2026, the DEA issued an immediate suspension order to A+ Pharmacy located on Highway 58. The order prevents the business from handling any controlled substances, and for a pharmacy that's basically closing down. He's currently facing charges for distributing Schedule IV controlled substances, with additional charges pending as investigation continues. The Tennessee Board of Pharmacy is working alongside federal officers on the case. Wow. Be careful. It ain't really nothing to be careful. There are some awful people in this world. We know this. We've talked about a lot of things like this. People who use their position and power to take advantage of the vulnerable, the weak, the naive, the hurting. And we just got to make sure that the people who are caught and that everyone is caught who is doing something like this and they serve the appropriate time for their actions. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know if y'all know any other situations that's happening like this. It's a pharmacist. It can be anybody, though. But let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said, y'all. Absolutely crazy. We're going to go over into our fourth topic we're going to be discussing today. And it looks like we got enough time, so we will be going over a fifth. We got a body cam footage that shocked me, which a lot of these body cam footages do. But it's simply called, we got an 18-year-old who attacks his cousin because he stole his phone. And what did he attack him with? He attacked him with a brick. A brick. That's what I said. Let's get over into it and see what this whole body cam footage is about and see what our thoughts are at the end of the day. How is he going to try to work his way out of this? Let's get into it, because you know that he's going to lie to say something. Let's get into it.
My girl knows how I get when my cousin comes over here. Sometimes we fight, sometimes it's good.
He was going to take off in her car, and I told him that no, and he hit me, so I had him in the seat, and I was like, I'm not letting you take off in her car. Like, you're not taking off in her car. He was like, if you're not going to take me home, then I'm going to bust out your windows. And he came out here, and he got the concrete right there, and he was going to bust out her windows, and she was trying to stop him.
They came running out, and then she came fucking attacking me in the car, trying to get the keys, and I finally threw him in the dirt. And I went to my girl, and I was like, so this is what you want? So this is how you want the day to go? You want her to take my phone so he can piss me off and get me amped up like this?
And while I was on the phone with the 911 operator, he was telling them that he was going to sock me in my face and that he was going to do all kinds of crazy things.
On June 25th, 2025, officers were dispatched to a home in Belen, New Mexico, after receiving reports of a young man, Santana, threatening his cousin with a brick after she took away his phone. When officers arrive, they find him outside the residence arguing with his cousin and girlfriend.
What's going on, pup dog? Okay, so what's going on, man? Can you guys step over here and talk to me?
Well, that's supposed to be my boyfriend, and we've just been having a rough moment right now, and that's my best friend that we work together. So
this right here? Okay.
And it's I'm going to call the cops. Well, they're not blood related, but
okay.
Their mom have been friends since she was in diapers. Okay. So like his mom raised her, and that's how I met him. And this morning she just said how she wanted to hang out with me, and like she gets paid today and she needs a new battery, so she came here so I can be able to try do that for her.
Help me out.
Okay.
And he took it the wrong way and started freaking out and saying that he didn't want her here. But I was like I honestly don't even know how it blew up. But
so what happened is I went inside and I was like, Santana, are you gonna say hi to me? And I'm like messing around with him and he's ignoring me. And I went like back to his phone and I was like, Santana, like why are you ignoring me? Like don't be rude. That's like disrespectful. Like you were literally just at my house like the other day.
We just
and, like,
came
we were
back
fine.
from
So
her.
like what's your problem? And he went and he got her keys and he was gonna take off in her car and I told him that no, and he hit me. So I had him in the seat and I was like, I'm not letting you take off in her car. Like you're not taking off in her car. So he threw her keys out the window right there, and I got her keys on for her because she didn't have her shoes on. And he then told her that he wanted her phone to call his grandma, and I was like, no, you have your phone, like call your grandma. Like she doesn't need to give you her phone to call your grandma. Like you have your grandma's number, so if you want them to come pick you up, like do that. So then he was like, if you're not going to take me home, then I'm going to bust out your windows. And he came out here and he got the concrete right there, and he was going to bust out her windows, and she was trying to stop him. And I told him, I was like, if you're going to continue acting like this, Santana, then I'm going to call the cops because this isn't okay.
Right.
And
I didn't think he was going to,
Initially, this just sounds like some kind of boyfriend-girlfriend drama. Let's keep going and see what it's about.
He did grab a rock, but I was able to get him to put it down, and then he freaked out because she said she was going to call the cops.
And then he grabbed a brick,
and then he got another rock and went to her car and was freaking out because she called you guys, and I told him just calm down. I said just calm down. You calm down, she won't call the cops. I said calm down. Just calm down.
But he wouldn't calm down, and he was jumping on the hood of my car, and he ruined it right there.
Dude, I don't know why he's doing this.
What's your name, ma'am?
I said no. This is the worst it's gotten. It's never gotten like this.
He gets in her face all the time. He's like, he says that he's joking and that she's just too sensitive, but he's like hit her And like, I've gotten mad at him and I told him that it's okay. My stepdad has told him that it's not okay. My mom has told him that it's not okay. And it was actually my mom who told me, because I had asked her if she can come to take him home. And she said that she has a meeting to go to, so she can't. And she said that honestly, the best thing to do if he's acting like this is to call the cops and to let you guys deal with it.
Okay, now we're starting to get a little into it. So it seems like we got a little woman beater. We got someone who's growing up and on the path to being a career woman beater and a domestic violence person, or domestic violence criminal, however you want to say it. But let's keep going into this.
So does he live here?
What's your phone number?
Explain to me the taking of the keys. How did that happen again?
So her keys were hanging on the tree right next to the door.
Okay.
And honestly, this all started because he didn't say hi to her, and she was like trying to joke with him. And then he took my keys and he came out here, and I didn't know what he was gonna do, so I followed him. And then that's when he got into the car, and then that's when she came out,
And
and
he
then
was
they
threatening
started
to leave. And I was like, you're not gonna leave in her car. And he's already said he doesn't have a driver's license or anything. So
What's going on?
Okay, so
Do you have any weapons on you first?
you can go ahead and check
Face
me
the
out.
car really quick. I'm just gonna do a quick pat down.
I'm hot.
Okay.
Like, I don't got nothing
Go
on
for
me.
it.
I swear to God.
So what's going on?
So that's my cousin, the girl that called you guys.
Okay.
And that's my girl. Me and her were having a good morning, right? And all of a sudden, like, my girl knows how I get when my cousin comes over here. Sometimes we fight, sometimes it's good. Well, all of a sudden, I went back to my house because my girl already knew that I didn't want her over here. So
this is your house?
No, this is my girlfriend's mom's house at the time. I'm staying with my girl right now.
Okay, so you live at this house though?
Yes, with my girlfriend. They just got back home from work at 9 o'clock, around like 9:30ish. And she said, is it okay if your cousin comes with me, my friend? And I said, no. And I just told her, it ruined my whole vibe, because I just wanted to have a day with my girl, because we're not on good terms.
Okay.
And, like, she just wants to sit there, and I'm telling her, tell her to leave so I can fix things with you and calm down. No, I'm trying. But yeah, she wants to sit there, and she's sitting outside with my girl talking about, oh, Santana's gonna get f***ed up, I'm gonna ruin his life, and this and that, and I'm gonna press charges if he hits me. But when she came into the house, when they got here, she jumped on me. She took everything out of her pockets, put it on the floor.
Your cousin?
Yeah. And I'm sitting there on the bed like this, playing my game. And she snatches the phone out of my hand, off the charger, and she's like, no, I'm not giving your phone back. And I started getting mad because that irritates me when she does that. And I told her, give me my phone. And I told her, if you want problems, this is what you're gonna get. Like, I told my girl, like, she knows how I get when things aren't good and I'm not, like, having a bad day. So I kept telling her to leave, and then I walked out and I was threatening to break her windows if she didn't want to leave. And then I finally threw the brick over there, and then I got mad and I just kept yelling at her, and I kept telling her, like, why is she doing this? And then I finally got frustrated and I jumped on her hood and I vented it, because, like, I'm supposed to be talking to her. Like, I want to solve things with my girl and stuff, and then my cousin is sitting there saying that I'm putting my hands on her when I didn't even put my hands on her in the first place. Like, I was sitting there with my phone like this, playing my game. She snatched my phone. Okay, I get up and I push her a little bit to, like, tell her to give me my phone. No. And then she wants to sit there and say, like, you're not getting your phone if you want to be rude and this and that and ignore me. And I didn't even do nothing to her. Like I just wanted my phone so I could calm down and go. And then I went to my girl's car with her keys so I can roll up the windows and calm down. And then they came running out, and then she came attacking me in the car trying to get the keys, and I finally threw them in the dirt.
At the end of the day, this sounds like, initially before I heard him talking, I thought he was just growing up into a criminal. But it's starting to seem like he can't control his emotions, which I think they said 17 or 18 years old. You have to, that's when you need to start learning them, because you're an adult at that point and you have to be more responsible with how you react to certain situations. I wonder where his parents are. He said he's living at his girlfriend's house, so most likely him and his parents aren't on good terms, or they're not around. So who is guiding this young man and teaching him how to navigate his emotions? Let's keep going.
And then I finally went back inside to calm down and be on my phone, because I finally asked, like, my cousin, like, I kept asking my girlfriend if she could give me my phone and stuff, and...
Just take some deep breaths, man.
I just don't want this to happen, because I want to solve things with my girl, and this is, like, really the 2 days that I'm back with my girl from being with my auntie. Like, I just came back from my auntie's, and I told her I wanted to have a couple of days with her by myself. And she's like, I don't know if my girl's not understanding that I want days with her or not, but all of a sudden now it's, I want to bring my friend over and stuff, but like...
So when they got here, were you just in the room and then they came into the room?
So I was sitting in the living room, because there's a bed that me and my girl sleep on in there, because her brother sleeps, but he goes with his dad, and he's not here at the time, so there's an extra bed. But I was sitting in the living room on the bed where I sleep on my phone, and then she's like, "So you're not gonna say hi?" And I said no, and then that's when she decided to snatch the phone out of my hand.
Okay, then everything escalated from there.
Yeah, like I was telling my girl, like, please tell her to leave so I can calm down, and then I just, like, when I went to go to her window and tell her, I was telling her, like, Selena or Christina, can you please leave so I can talk to her and get calmed down, please? No, or so my girl was pushing me back and stuff.
So when they took the phone from you, that's when you walked outside and they followed you outside?
Yeah, that's when I came out here to calm down in my girl's car. I was gonna put the keys in the ignition, turn on the AC, roll up all the windows, lock myself in there, and calm completely down so I could come back out and talk to him and say hi. But obviously not, like. And then my cousin thinks that I'm gonna take off. Like, I'm 19. Like, people call me dumb for what I am. Like, yeah, I'm 19 and stuff, but I don't know how to drive. I don't have a license. Like. How am I supposed to take off in the vehicle? I just wanted to sit in there and calm down. But no, they rather escalate things into a bigger deal instead of letting me be by myself. Because that's one of my coping skills, to calm down and separate myself from people. But no. And then my cousin wants to steady sit there on the phone calling you guys. Like, when it's a deal between us, it's family, but like, she wants to sit there and say I put my hands on her and stuff. Like, I didn't even do that, bro.
That is a good point. Did he put his hands on her or not? Did he swing at her, or did they swing at each other? Because we know how that's families are. A woman will swing at a man as well. We got to remember that. There's a lot of parts that we're probably missing about this whole situation. At the end of the day, it seems like he can't control his emotions. At 19 years old, he is a little old, where well, I can't say that. He needs to work on controlling his emotions. At the end of the day, that's what all this stems from. He can't control his emotions.
Okay. Stay right here and relax, okay? You're not going to take off running or anything on me?
I'm not. No.
Okay. Stay right there. Just take some deep breaths and calm down, okay?
The whole thing is, I was on my phone playing the game. She walked up to me and asked me if I was going to say hi. I was looking at my game and I shook my head no. So she grabbed everything out of her pockets, she put it on the bed next to me, and then she snatched my phone, and then I kind of like pushed her a little, and then I was like, give me my phone, and she's like, no, since you don't want to tell me hi and you want to ignore me, you don't get your phone. And I was like, what the hell? Like, and then I went to my girl and I was like, so this is what you want? So this is how you want the day to go? You want her to take my phone so it could piss me off and get me amped up like this, and it irritates me knowing that I get irritated easily, and I'm a ticking time bomb because I used to take meds for my anger, but I should go back on my meds. But like,
okay,
it's like,
okay. So how long you been off your meds, man?
Already a lot of years. Since I came home when I was 15 from Utah.
Okay.
I was in a treatment foster place up there.
Yeah, you might get checked back in on that stuff, man. It could really help you out.
Okay, so we did learn a little bit more about him. He is in the foster care system, so he doesn't have a lot of, well, at least my understanding, he might not have a lot of male role models around to guide him on how to control his anger. Because it's hard without someone teaching you and guiding you at some points. But let's keep going.
And I told my girl, like, why don't you take me to go get my meds and stuff? And we've talked about it, and then, like, we just never do it.
Okay, man. Hold it.
After getting his statement admitting to threatening his cousin with a brick, it's now up to her to decide his fate. If she decides to press charges, he'll be arrested and go to a detention center. If not, he will be released scot-free.
So if you don't want to press charges, what we can do is we could voluntarily ask him to leave.
I think that I do want to press charges. Like, he's my cousin and I love him, but like, that's my vehicle and I just got that vehicle. Like, I've only had that vehicle for 2 months and I'm still paying on it.
Yeah.
And like, now that's gonna cost me now to get that fixed. And now it's like, I have to look underneath the hood and make sure that there's like nothing like...
Well, I'm sure there's no damage to anything underneath
yeah,
of it.
But like, my hood's now still...
I just volunteer, like, ask him to leave.
And he voluntarily leaves, then we could go that route and tell him to not come back until he's calmed down. But I just can't tell him, go up to him and be like, you have to leave.
No, we understand that. Like,
would you be willing to see what...
10-4.
If they tell him that, see what he says?
If he's voluntarily gonna go, then maybe, but like...
I know, it's your car.
So...
And you asked him so many times to stop and he wouldn't. And he had that brick in his hand and he was gonna hit me in the face with the brick. And he was gonna hit my car with the brick. Like, you literally put yourself between us and that's not okay. And while I was on the phone with the 911 operator, he was telling them that he was gonna sock me in my face and that he was gonna do all kinds of crazy.
So it's up to you on how you guys want to play it.
Honestly, I do think that I want to press charges because that's my car and that's not okay.
Okay, so then it's gonna be the assault since he threatened to hit you with a brick, and then it's gonna be the criminal damage of property and everything. And then if you don't show up to court, everything gets dropped.
Okay. So does that mean you guys are gonna take him to jail right now?
If the charges are pressed, then he's gonna go up with us and you go to Valencia County, the detention center.
I mean, honestly, that might be what he needs. He needs something to give him a reality check. Because the biggest reality check is the consequences of your actions. Of what is going to happen if you cannot control your anger. You got to do something. You got to either get back on your medication, talk to someone, a therapist, you need something. Because you cannot blow up like this again. And then if he was truly threatening her with throw a brick at her, yes, there needs to be some kind of charges pressed. Because it's not okay for that to happen. Let's keep going, though.
Question for you.
Yeah?
Are you willing to leave for a little while? Go cool off?
Like where?
Like, I don't know, wherever you go. Go take a walk, cool off, whatever you want to do. Have somebody come pick you up, whatever. Are you willing?
I mean, I'm willing, but...
What?
Because I was trying to tell him to give me my phone so I could call my internet.
Your phone's over there in front of the car, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's probably dead, and I can't get a hold of it.
Are you guys still going to take him today? Because honestly, I don't think that him being here is the best thing.
So we understand that, man, but that's technically not up to you.
Yeah.
Him being here, if you're not gonna, if we don't take him, I can't force him to leave here since he lives here.
And he lives here. That would be something you guys would have to work out to maybe that. But no, it's not up to you. I'm sorry to say, but
yeah, that I can't force him to leave the place that he lives.
After spending a lot of time contemplating, the cousin eventually decided to press charges after all, saying her life being threatened and the damage done to her car was too much for him to get away unscathed.
All right, man. So, go ahead and turn around for me, man. We're going to take care of this guy. Do you have anything on you, sir?
No.
Hold on. It's in your other hand. Okay. I'm going to pull your arm. Yes, sir.
4.
Hopefully this will give him a reality check on what needs to be done.
I can answer that in just a few minutes. The other officer's the one that's made the decision right now, so I don't know what's going on.
You know when I would get out and stuff?
I don't.
I've never been to jail, so I don't know what this is like.
Hey, can you pop your door?
Babe, I'm sorry.
Hey, nope. Back over there.
Hey, no.
Back over there. Not helping. Hey, man, go ahead and have a seat, okay?
Bro, I knew my cousin didn't like me and she hated me for death. I knew my cousin hated me.
Okay, man, I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this. I really am. But
I've always had bad things in my life happen to me. I'm not even from Berlin. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, that's a rough place up there. But,
I know. I know.
You can't be threatening to mash stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
I told her to tell her to leave, and I wouldn't have done it. My girl told me I would tell her to leave. And she never told her. She kept walking and walking away from me.
I understand.
And officer, my girl kept telling me I would tell her. But yeah, my girl tried to stop me, and I wasn't gonna touch her. I didn't put my hands on her. I legitimately said, "I'm your cousin. You want to see me like this?" And she said, "I don't give a f if I'm your cousin." Those are her straight words, officer. And she wants to see me like this, and if she doesn't like me, if she hates me for life, and she wants to see me do bad, then I guess.
But ultimately, you're responsible for your own actions. Okay? I understand she made you mad. I understand that you guys. Hold on. I understand that you walked away. She followed you. I get all that. But man, you can't be picking up bricks like that. Okay, scooch in. Watch your feet. Okay.
I'm sorry, officer.
I like how the officer explained it to him. At the end of the day, you are in control of your own actions. You cannot react how you was. You cannot pick up a brick when you're upset. You cannot smash things. That is not how adults should act. You're 19 years old and you have to learn this. Someone has to teach it to you. If not going to teach you, you got to face the consequences of your actions, or if you're not going to learn it.
Alrighty, man. Hey. I need you to take some deep breaths, dude.
You might as well just send me to death, bro.
Do you know your social or anything?
No, I don't. Babe, I love you.
Hold on. If you calm down, I'll let her come over here and talk to you. But I need you to calm down, okay? I told her I don't mind if she comes over here and talks to you, but I need you to calm down. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you the one that told him to put me in cuffs?
Yeah.
Can I answer why that is?
Because I asked her if they wanted to press charges, and your cousin wants to press charges on the damage that's done to the hood of the car.
In the end, the rivalry between cousins resulted in Santana getting charged with criminal damage to property and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And while his girlfriend watched him drive away in tears, the cousin recorded the whole thing with a smile on her face.
Yeah. It's a crazy family dynamic. I mean, it's family dynamics are always complicated. But at the end of the day, he does need to learn how to control his emotions. He does need to know that his consequences have actions. He grew up in the foster system. Most likely didn't have a father figure. We don't know for sure, but he might have didn't have role models to teach him how to. They said he was on medication. He obviously needs to go back on it if he can't control his emotions to this extent. But it sounded like they did egg him on too, so the situation is very complicated. But let me know your thoughts on the situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But looks like we got enough time for one more topic we'll get over into. And you know we got to. This next topic is we're going to Atlanta, where the Atlanta mayor has a message to the parents because the kids don't care about the police. They don't care about consequences. They just do what they want to do, and the parents aren't holding them responsible. Let's get over into it and see what this whole situation is about. What is happening in Atlanta? And should the parents eventually be charged? Let's get into it.
Tonight, the mayor of Atlanta sends a strong message to parents after a deadly shooting at Piedmont Park.
Speaking directly to parents, we don't want to parent for you. It's your job to parent.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on 11 Alive and streaming on 11 Alive Plus. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Tonight, city leaders are frustrated following a violent Easter weekend. Police say more than a dozen people were shot, including 16-year-old Tiana Robinson, who lost her life when someone opened fire inside Piedmont Park. It happened Saturday night following a 4-day event.
And right now, there is a $15,000 reward for information leading to an arrest out there. And just hours ago, we spoke with Robinson's older brother, telling the teens to put the guns down.
Like, we supposed to have fun when we go out, not worrying about if somebody gonna kill us or anything like that. So it's like, all these young people, they got free to stop with all the gang violence because there's too much going on. And my sister lost her life to it, and I just hope we get justice for her.
Well, tonight, police say several shootings this weekend were beyond their control.
We have live team coverage tonight following the investigations and taking a behind-the-scenes look at one of the city's solutions. We begin with 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn live from the Atlanta Public Safety Headquarters, where police and city leaders held a news conference earlier today. Cody.
Yeah, Jennifer, this was no doubt one of the most violent weekends we have seen in this city in quite some time. But when you zoom out, Mayor Dickens put some perspective on it for us earlier today. He says when you're looking at homicides, as of January 1st to today, we're at 17. Go back 4 years, that number was 48. At least 8 separate shootings across the city of Atlanta Easter weekend.
A lot of those incidents were beyond the control of the police department.
Assistant Chief Carventaya says 3 of the 8 shootings were self-inflicted, including one man who shot himself in the leg.
And was less than truthful with the police and said he got robbed.
And a teenager shot after police say he committed a crime.
And as he's running away, his pants fall down, he grabs his pants, and he accidentally shoots himself.
One of the most heartbreaking, a 3-year-old killed after getting a hold of a gun.
Who's killed inside of an apartment at 12 at night, left there by the parent who's trying to go to work and make a living.
In a 4th shooting, police say a father shot his 15-year-old son over drugs.
Those incidents, the Atlanta Police Department really cannot control. But let's be clear, the ones that we can control, we will come after those people.
APD is offering a $15,000 reward to help track down the shooters who opened fire Saturday night inside Piedmont Park. The shooting took the life of 16-year-old Tiana Robinson. Just hours later, 2 men were shot along Edgewood Avenue. And the weekend ended with 4 teenagers shot Sunday night on Sparks Street. Mayor Dickens says the city saw an influx of visitors over the weekend, noting that Atlanta's population is just 8% of the entire metro area.
This 8% can't take care of 92% of the folks' kids. So, but they love our amenities. Piedmont Park is paid for by Atlanta taxpayers and the Conservancy, but folks from all over come enjoy it.
Mayor Dickens says policies are being reviewed, including curfew times following the violent weekend.
Priority number 1 is to, respect this grieving family of Tiana Robinson and to find the killers that committed this heinous crime.
Yeah, 100%. You have to do something to stop the violence. If you have to implement some kind of curfew to where any kid found out after a certain time, they need to be detained. So, I mean, I don't know if you need to go as extreme as that, but something needs to be done. If the student or if the child keeps doing things that's going to end them in jail, the parents need to be held responsible for not watching their child. At the end of the day, something needs to be done. Let's keep going into this.
During that news conference today, Mayor Dickens said there were 32 officers on Edgewood Avenue Saturday night when that shooting happened. He says as far as Piedmont Park, while they didn't give us a number, they said it was adequately staffed with APD officers. In fact, the assistant chief says in both of those shootings, Edgewood Avenue and Piedmont Park, officers were in the area and responded to those shots fired before any 911 calls were made. Live in Atlanta, Cody Alcorn, 11 Alive News.
I mean, that just goes to show you that they can have plenty of staff, plenty of things they can be there when it happens, but they can't solve all the problems. At the end of the day, teens will still get out there, do what they want to do when the parents are not holding them responsible. A budget can only go so far before the parents need to do something. You can only have so many officers. You can only afford so many police officers. But let's go over into one more video just to drive this point home.
And after a weekend of violence in Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens is putting parents on notice. 11 people were shot between Saturday and Sunday, 2 of which died.
Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond is live. She's with the First Alert breaking news tracker. Sarah, we heard from city leaders yesterday, and they are wanting accountability.
Yeah, they are. And you know, the two people who died from these shootings over the weekend, one of them was 16-year-old Tiana Robinson, who was shot and killed in Piedmont Park. The other was a 3-year-old boy who was shot in southwest Atlanta. Now, Atlanta police say that some of these weekend shootings were arguments that turned into gunfire, like the shooting on Spark Street Sunday that sent 4 teens to the hospital. In the case of the Piedmont Park shooting that killed Robinson and injured another 15-year-old girl, APD says they believe that was random. A $15,000 reward is now on the table from Crime Stoppers for any information about those shooters. And as spring break for roughly 600,000 Metro Atlanta students continues, Mayor Andre Dickens says parents need to know where their kids are.
APD is increasing their patrols, and they will bring charges to parents and caregivers of minors who are violating our curfew.
And as a reminder, curfew for minors in Atlanta is midnight to 6 a.m. Friday and Saturday, and 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sunday through Thursday. Live here at the Atlanta Police Department headquarters, Sarah Hammond, Atlanta News First.
Is that late enough, or is that early enough? Is that going to stop or help the parents, wake the parents up, a better word to say, that they need to watch over their children? Or fines, or they say charges, but most likely it's going to be some kind of fine. If it's severe enough, then yes, charges, I can see that. But something needs to be done. It's happening all over the world. Teen takeovers where parents aren't caring about or not knowing where their children are. They're out vandalizing. They're out late at night shooting. Somebody might be shooting up a party, shooting up a gathering. It's happening everywhere. It seems like parents are less and less concerned about what their children are doing when they're away from them. It might have just been because we were raised differently or we grew up differently, but it seems like something needs to be done. Something needs to drive deep into these parents to where they need to understand that they are responsible for their children at the end of the day. And what they do falls back on them. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. That is the end of the show today, y'all. Thank you for watching, like always. Thank you for if you tune in later. But remember, y'all, these videos will be broken down so you can go and watch the one you want to. The world is a crazy place, and we have to review the world together, y'all. Let me know your thoughts, and if you disagree with anything I said. I'm never going to say I know everything. I'm never going to say I truly understand the full point of the video, but I will give you my honest opinion on how I feel about it. So if you disagree, let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. That's what's wrong with the world now. Now, remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. But that's it for now, y'all. Peace.